So more news coming out from the past couple weeks or so, basically the past week or so, we have more official information about what Canon is going to come out with and a little bit of what it's kind of counter replacing for the most part. But we finally have a lot of information about their new upcoming Canon EOS R7 and R10. And in kind of hindsight in regards to their DSLR line, it's going to be kind of their replacements into the crop line for the R mirrorless system for the Canon 90D and 7D Mark II. So it's to kind of give you a general gist of where it's going to be at, but two very popular cameras for Canon in the DSLR section. Now you're going to get kind of similar specifications into the mirrorless line with these R7 and R10. And the cool part is we're going to hear about this in just a couple of weeks as well, just like we recently heard about some Fuji stuff, them coming out with their new XH2, XH2S stuff. We're going to hear about that officially as well. But once again, we have a lot of information regarding these two cameras below. Canon's also going to announce a couple more lenses and all that kind of stuff, so keep your eye peeled out for that. But let's kind of dive into the R10 and the R7. Specifically want to dive into the R10 because we know a little less about that compared to the R7. So let's tackle that one first. So like I said, we don't know a ton about the R10 per se, but we do know a little bit. It's going to have a new 24.2 megapixel sensor. So it's basically going to kind of get its speed. It's going to have your Canon signature top of the line dual pixel autofocusing system, which I think is really great. You're going to have 15 to 23 frames per second mechanically and electronically. So it's going to be decently fast for what it is, kind of in your everyday life. For some reason, they're really targeting an HDR, either LUT or profile in it, so I'm very interested to see maybe some kind of raw video, which would be kind of shocking, a more mid-entry kind of camera like that, so we'll be really interested to see what that is, and mentioning that it will have, fast SD, as much as it can, SD slot within that camera as well. But like I said, we don't know a ton about that. I don't know if that's going to be the most popular one here, the R10, but I think the R7 is going to be a fan favorite. So the R7 is going to be pretty popular, like I was just mentioning, and that's because of a lot of what's going to be in it, and I think a lot of what people have been asking for more of the mid-type stuff. And you're going to get a new 32.5 megapixel crop sensor. Once again, it's going to do your dual pixel autofocusing, etc. like that. Similar 15 to 30 frames per second mechanical and electronic, bursting and stuff like that. So typical, you can pretty much shoot whatever you need with that. It'll have two SD card slots, which I think is good because people complain about one, so two is also good. So it doesn't seem like they're going to have anything fast, though, so no CF Express, or anything of that nature, so just kind of keep that in mind. But it will do 4K video at 60 frames per second, which I think is absolutely plenty, as I still think 4K is still pretty not needed for the market, in my opinion. But it will be an option for you there as well. And it will do 1080p at 120 frames per second. So if you heard the recent Fuji news, one of their new crop sensor cameras, the XH2S and the XH2, will be able to support a lot of that. And their more video-focused XH2S will be able to do 4K at 120 frames per second. So we'll be interested to see, because technically they will be competing cameras for that regards. But in the R7 too, they are saying that will have in-body image stabilization, and also it will have C-Log, which is your raw video. So I think that is very key if you like video and that's something that you're interested in. It'll be in the R7. Once again, we don't know price points because we're just kind of talking about the new stuff coming out and what we'll be hearing in just a few weeks or under a month or so. But that's really kind of what we know about the R7 and the R10. And I think the R7, if it's going to be what it is, and when we officially hear about it, it's going to be a very popular Canon for camera. A popular camera for Canon, in my opinion. But if you're a Canon user or someone in the industry, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think the R7 is going to be a big deal? I think it's going to be pretty competitive for what's coming out. But I'm still interested to see what Sony might sneak out this year, since now Fuji's going to have their big announcements soon, and now Canon with their stuff as well. So is the R7 and the R10 going to be a big impact on the field? We're going to find out.